Hi, my name is Faith, and today I want to show you how to access data from the 2020 Island Area Census Demographic and Housing Characteristics File, or DHC, which includes data for the American Samoa, the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The 2020 Island Area Censuses DHC provides a wide range of demographic, social, economic, and housing information to meet the island area data needs. Other surveys, such as the American Community Survey, or ACS, are not conducted in the island areas. Therefore, the Census Bureau used a long-form census questionnaire similar to the ACS questionnaire used in the 50 states, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. The data that we are looking at today comes from the DHC tables, which are available for each of these island areas and provide information on a variety of subjects, including age, race, Hispanic origin, language spoken at home, household income, poverty status, school enrollment, veteran status, and housing data. Let's go to data.census.gov so I can show you how to find this data. For our first example, let's find data on the household income categories for all the census tracts in St. Thomas and the U.S. Virgin Islands. To start, go to data.census.gov and click on the Advanced Search button found beneath the search bar on the landing page. I always like to select the geography first. So from the lower left side of the screen, click on Geography, Census Tract, United States Virgin Islands, St. Thomas Island, and check the box for all the census tracts within St. Thomas Island, United States Virgin Islands. Now let's add a filter for the income. From the left, click on Topics, Income, and Poverty. Income and earnings. Check the box for income, household, family, and individuals. The last thing to do is add the filter for the DHC. Click on Surveys, Decennial Census of Island Areas. Check the box for U.S. Virgin Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file. With these selections made, click on the Search button in the lower right corner of the screen. There are quite a few tables that touch on income in some way for the tracts we've selected. The tables at the top of the list look at the income, but they also look at it for characteristics that don't need right now, such as tenure. I just want a table that provides the household income categories. So as I scroll through the list of tables, I can see that there is a table PBG42, Household Income in 2019. Let's click on it to take a look. This table is exactly what I was looking for. It gives the number of households that fall into each income category. We can also see that it's using the 2020 U.S. Virgin Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file, which is something of importance to note. We'll get into why this is in just a few moments. For now, let's take a quick look at some of the buttons found in the ribbon above the table. You can click on the Notes button in the ribbon to view important information relevant to this table, as well as find the link to technical documentation. The link to technical documentation is also provided below. You can also add additional geographies for the U.S. Virgin Islands using the Geos button. If you want to temporarily remove any of the columns from this table, you can use the Hide button. The Transpose button will transpose the table. If you hide columns or transpose the table and decide that you don't want it formatted that way anymore, you can use the Restore button to revert the table back to its original format. Now let's say that we also want to look at this table for all census tracts in the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands. Your first instinct may be to go over to the Geography filter on the left and add the census tracts to the table that way. However, you won't be able to successfully add any geographies from the Northern Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, or American Samoa to this table as it stands. The reason is, sometimes that I alluded to earlier, each island area has its own unique demographic and housing characteristics file. We're currently using the 2020 U.S. Virgin Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file. And what this means is that it's not compatible with the geographies from any other island areas. In other words, the U.S. Virgin Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file is only compatible with the U.S. Virgin Islands geographies. So if we want to find this table for the census tracts in the Northern Mariana Islands or any other geographies in the Northern Mariana Islands or in Guam or the American Samoa, we'll have to start a new search and use the Demographic and Housing Characteristics file that's available for that specific island area. I could start a new search to find this table for the Northern Mariana Islands census tract, but I prefer to just drop the filter. That way I no longer need it and keep the ones that I do. From the left side, click on the X found on the filter chips for all the census tracts within St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands DHC. This will remove them from our search. We do, however, want to keep the income filter, so do not click on the X for that. Now we just need to add in the new filter needed for the census tracts, as well as the one that will allow us to get the data from the Northern Mariana Islands DHC. Let's do the geography first by repeating the process that we did earlier for the tracts in St. Thomas Island. From the lower left side of the screen, click on Geography, Census Tract, Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, and check the box for all census tracts within the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands. Now let's add the respective DHC filter. Click on Surveys, Decennial Census of Island Areas. Check the box for Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file. Now click on the X in the upper right corner of the panel to close it and view the updated list of tables. If I scroll down the list, I find the household income table that I want, PBG42. Now let's say that I want to look at a map of this data. To get it, click on the Maps button right above the table or in the Maps tab right above the table list. Once the map comes up, you may need to zoom in at some point to view the tracts. We can see that this map, like the table, uses the 2020 Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands Demographic and Housing Characteristics file. For this example, let's take a quick look at the mapping functionality that we have available. The map defaults to showing data for the first line of the table, PBG42, which is the total number of households. If you would like to view a different variable from the table, click on the Variables button in the ribbon. Then click on the chevron next to Total. Using this list, you can search all the lines of tables until you find the variable that you might want. Let's click on Total 40,000 to 49,999 to update this map. Remember too, that you can always refer back to the table by clicking on the Tables tab if you need more content for your variables. If you want to find out more about what you can do with the mapping functionality that's available, please visit the tutorials that we have on our resource page found at the link below. I hope this tutorial has helped in learning how to find and use data from the Island Area Demographic and Housing Characteristics file. For more guidance on using our site, please visit our resource page at data.census.gov. Thank you.